Hey y'all, I'm Hope, and today I'm doing the Finish the Book tag. I've not unfortunately been able to find the original creator for this tag, but I will put them down in the description below if I happen to find their channel. I'm not sure if they're still posting or not. I haven't been able to find it. Editing Hope here, I did actually manage to find a link to the original video, but unfortunately it looks like it's no longer available, and from what I can tell, it looks like the original creator's channel may be gone as well. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I could not find a way to get to their channel. So unfortunately, it looks like the creator and their video are no longer on YouTube, but a massive thanks to whoever created this tag, because it was a ton of fun to do. But I'm doing this tag because I saw this recently on Criminali's channel. I will link his channel in the description down below as well, because he is very cool and you should go check him out. But he did this tag, I want to say it was earlier today, but like I've been writing papers for days, and so I've completely lost track of time. I don't know what day it is. It was possibly today. It was possibly yesterday. I'm not sure. Anyway, he did this tag recently. I thought it looked like fun, so we're going to do it. And it's all about finishing books and the things we do once we finish a book. So looking right into the questions, because I'm just rambling at this point. Question number 1 is, do you keep a list of the books that you've read? And I do. I actually keep a list in 3 different places because I use Goodreads, because I like to do the reading goal for the year thing. So obviously I'm marking things that I've read on that so that I can have that satisfying little, counter ticking upwards as the year goes on. I also keep a spreadsheet where I list all the books that I've read, and then I also put them in my bullet journal, which I use that mostly as a kind of quick reference for things that I've read in a specific month. So question number 2 is, what stats do you record? And I'm using Hardback Hoarder's, I think, second version of her spreadsheet that she created, and I've altered it a little bit for my use, but it records pages read, hours listened, some author demographic information, mostly the gender identity and race of the author, which I find really useful in trying to diversify my reading, because I can kind of see, what am I reading more of, what could I be doing better on. I find that really helpful. What else is included? There's a section for trigger warnings if you want to include that in a review, so I've been using that. Oh, and also I really like the genre, subgenre, and publication year information. I think that that's interesting to look at. Question number 3 is, do you give star ratings? And I do. I do use half stars, although I use half stars mostly on vibes. I have kind of a general rating system, and then the half stars operate on vibes. For me, a 1 star is a book that I hated, and there's no redeeming qualities to it for me. And these are really rare for me because I am a big believer in DNFing a book you're not enjoying. If something gets a 1 star for me, it's probably something I was forced to read for some reason, mostly for class. I am an English graduate student, so if I 1 star something, it's probably something I had to read for class, but this is still really rare. I mostly am just going to stop reading a 1 star book. 2 stars for me are I really didn't like this book. I really don't think it's good, but I see why other people liked it, or why it is a valuable text in some way. 3 star tends to be very middle of the road. I enjoyed this. I didn't necessarily really like it. I didn't dislike it. It was middle of the road. I thought it was fine. And then for a 4 star, this is a book I really liked it. I just didn't quite love it, right? I think it's really enjoyable. I think it's a great example of what it is, but I maybe have a bone to pick with it. And then 5 stars obviously are I have no specific qualms with this book. There's no specific issues that I can point to. I think that it's fantastically written, whatever. I just don't have anything that I can point to as an issue. After that, everything is vibes. A 3 star that ends up being a 3.5 stars, I kind of like this more than I expected to, or I think this does, what it's trying to do a little bit better than I expected. So it gets a 3.5. 4.5 is probably something that was almost a new favorite, but maybe there was something in there that kind of pissed me off or something. Very much operates on vibes. Question number 4 is, do you review books? And I do. I tend not to do individual reviews unless it's something I'm reading for NetGalley, where I've gotten an ARC, and I'll write an individual review that I post on NetGalley, and then I usually post that also on Goodreads and Amazon. Every once in a while, if I feel strongly about a book, I'll also write a longer Goodreads review for it. And then beyond that, I do a monthly wrap-up, and I usually review everything that I have read in that wrap-up. I'm now trying to do a monthly check-in and then a wrap-up, so that I can split that up a little bit, so that, especially in months where I'm reading a lot, I can have more coherent reviews where I'm not trying to review stuff from a month ago and going, I have no idea what happened in this book. So I do review things in kind of a collected format most of the time. Number 5 is where do you put your finished books? This is the answer. I put them back on the shelf, and then at the end of the month I have to go on a little scavenger hunt to find the stuff that I read. Question number 6 is how do you pick your next book? And as a mood reader, that's a difficult choice. Most of the time I'm going to start with, do I have anything I have to read? As I mentioned earlier, I'm an English graduate student, so frequently I'm reading things that I have to read. So that's usually where I'm going to start, is if there is anything that I need to read. And then I start to look at, are there any events that I want to participate in? Are there book clubs that I want to watch their live show? So for me right now, I'm wanting to watch the Catch Up Book Club live shows because they've just started a new series and I think it'd be really fun to, kind of follow along with that. So I don't have school stuff, so instead I'm going to be reading The Blade Itself, which is the Catch Up Book Club book for right now. And then after that, it's really a free-for-all. I do have a TBR game that I use to help me decide what I'm going to read next. I use it mostly as a attempt to narrow down a list, because otherwise I come in here and I look at these shelves and I go, oh my god, I don't know. So I have a TBR game so that I can kind of like narrow it down a little bit, and I get kind of a narrowed selection that then as the month goes on, I try to put things that are kind of a mix of genres on there so that as the month goes on I can go, okay, well I'm not in the mood for a mystery right now, but oh, I have this horror book that's already pulled out. So it really is kind of chaotic. It's basically, is there anything I have to read? First, is there anything that is for like a specific purpose with a deadline that I want to read? And then after that, it's really just a free-for-all. And that's why I have the TBR game, is so hopefully I don't just stand in front of this and not read anything at all. And then the last question is, do you have any rituals when you have finished the book? This kind of circles back around to the first question for me. I put everything on all my lists. I fill out my spreadsheet immediately. I jotted down my bullet journal immediately. And that's mostly just so I don't forget about it. I update my Goodreads immediately. And then the very last thing is putting my bookmark back here, or I also have for some of my weird shaped bookmarks, including like this one, I have a bowl in the other room that I have like all of my like little tiny magnetic bookmarks and other things. I have some business cards I use as bookmarks, so I keep all of those in a bowl in the other room. But mostly I put my bookmark back here because I'm really good at losing bookmarks, and so if I put them in the book pot, then I might actually remember where they are. So yeah, those are all the questions, and I hope this has been an enjoyable video. It's probably a little bit chaotic because I am running on my last brain cell at the moment. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments below your answers to any of these questions. I would love to hear what you guys think and how you guys, collect stats, what rituals you have when you finish a book. I'd love to know what your answers are because I think these are fun and interesting questions. So let me know that down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting every Tuesday and Saturday, so there is more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.